It's a mediocre time with Tom and Dan.
Put some respect on my name.
Respect our name.
I ain't gonna say it no more.
You crack ass motherfuckers. Motherfuckers. Motherfuckers.
Town's #1 rock station, Z159 FM.
right.
Your only home for the Hot Tub and Mini Fridge Morning Show and Dump 'em Out Fridays.
Ooh, yeah, a hot tub and mini fridge. Keep me cold and hot.
Z159 FM.
Hello, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me get rid of this for you and get our guest on here, and we'll warm up a touch. Good morning, good morning. Hope everybody's doing well. Gotta make sure that's on, so when I connect this, we will have audio with our guest.
All right.
Workflow, new workflow. I'm doing it.
Haven't talked to Jamie in a while.
I know, I like this guy. This is a man that wouldn't grow a beard like this. Too handsome. He wouldn't do it.
yeah.
He wouldn't ruin how good he looks.
Yeah,
He's
no.
oh, there he is.
No.
Yeah, look how good he looks.
Hey, what's going on, dude?
What's up, buddy?
What's up, guys? I am so happy to see y'all's faces.
We are
today.
so happy
Don't
to
talk about how good I look, Tom, when you look like that, man. You look like $1 million.
He does look good, doesn't he? He looks good. I do not look good. I do not look good.
Well, you're doing it on purpose, though.
I
When
am.
you grow a long gray beard.
I'm going a full year on
We
the...
can't do that. Look at you.
Well,
man. You
because
look
you're...
good. Hey,
I'm doing a full year on the
Dan,
hair.
you know that we can't do it.
You can. You can.
Now, me
do
and
it.
Jamie, we have a more of a young, boyish-like face. That,
Yeah.
we
Look at how handsome he still is. My
we
God.
we cannot grow.
Hold on.
long,
You
homeless
must
beards.
be, if I'm doing my math right, you're coming in for a landing. You're 30s. You're into the 30s, right? Uh-oh. He's got weak Wi-Fi.
Uh-oh.
He's got red Wi-Fi now.
Oh, no. That's my downfall is my weak Wi-Fi. at this age, huh?
Yeah, are you close to 40 now?
39 this year, so I just celebrated my last birthday in April. There will be no more because
Guess
my
what
wife's
I'm
gonna
hitting?
sit-
Guess what I'm hitting tomorrow? 49.
Oh, 49?
49.
Oh, dude.
49.
I want to be cool like you.
And
at 49.
I look 69. And not the good one. And not the good one.
Yeah.
All right, let's not waste his time because I've missed you. All right, you would you like to start?
Yeah, let's do it.
And we're just gonna do this.
Is it okay if I drop off on the video? Is that okay?
Yeah, drop off.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I'm gonna go back to this right here, and then you'll
We'll
be
just
fine.
do audio only.
Yep.
Man, I miss you guys so much. I hope you guys know, like, this is the best part about it is, like, years can go by, and then we just pick up right where we leave
Well, we
off.
had so much fun. We really did. At a time when you could still have fun in soccer. Like,
Oh, my God, I know.
It's way too, like, it's a big business here now. But, like, when we were there, we were just inching into that. Anyway, okay, Tom.
I know.
It's also funny, like, social media, for all the villainizing of it, it is how I follow Jamie on social media, so I saw you had kids, and then it's funny, like me and my wife, you're talking like, Jamie had a second kid, and then we see your family on Facebook, and then I follow your career, and so it is funny that we haven't talked in a long time, but I do feel like I have an understanding of what's going on in your life and stuff, like.
That's the best part about it. Honestly, it is the one good part about it, right? Or the best part about it, in my opinion. But like, I love all the success you guys have had. I love that you guys are still doing. Like, honest, it makes my heart.
We
so
can't
happy,
do
man.
anything
like,
else,
I'll
man.
save all the.
This is it. This is all we got, Jamie. Like,
Jamie's a broadcaster now. He knows how hard it is.
He knows it's hard. All right,
I just stole what you guys did, and I'm just replicating that now because I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. So I just thank you guys for letting me steal your bit in just a way less funny way.
Well, Jamie, you chose the harder road of broadcasting, and we have the clown road.
Yeah. I mean, I could grow a beard out like that. I could look like a homeless man.
Yeah. We've got the clown road of broadcasting, which it's like we don't do anything serious. We don't have cameras pointed at us. We don't have to know anything.
True.
You have to know
stuff. I can talk like y'all and actually like be a real person instead of like, let me say gosh instead of like, God damn it.
Yeah.
I'd be really happy when I can do that.
Yeah. But doing it the hard way first will train you so that when you do it the easy way later.
Well, then you can do anything.
Yeah. So it is
not
good.
wrong.
Anyway, so let's get into it.
All right,
All right, go.
Mr. Van's going to start. All right, buddy. You ready?
Yep.
Here we go. And 3, 2.
Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We are live on Twitch and YouTube. We'd love it if you join us. Just search for @TomandDanLive. Exclusive videos there. Swervy Jones cartoons. His podcast may be coming back. Nothing would excite me more than if he brought back
that's
a
awesome.
show. He's doing it with all AI characters. It's wild.
Oh, really?
It's really good. Check it out. Shout out to Swervy, and check out all the cartoons he has at @TomandDanLive on YouTube.
Also, if you want to sign up to become a BDM, we have some more events coming up this summer. We've got, of course, the Beer Fest and lots of other things.
There's some maybe a little more, let's say, listener-driven events that might be coming around the bend too. Family-friendly events, like you like skating? You want to strap on some skates?
Cimarron Skate Ray, July 12th, courtesy of Just Call Mo. Go to justcallmo.com/skate to register. Bring your family, bring whoever you want, completely free. And Mo rented out the Cimarron Skateway.
You know what? Bring someone you trafficked.
How do I know?
Yeah,
I'm not.
None of my business.
I'm not looking into it.
Not my business.
Why would you say that?
I don't know. I don't know.
So we got a weird job with an old friend that I'm super excited
All
to
right,
talk
let's do
to.
it. Let's get into it here.
Tom wanted to do a bit. He called it Weird Job Wednesday. Dan really likes it. Tom says that's bullshit. It's another Weird Job Wednesday. What are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat? Are you tidy? Or are you a fat slob? Do you make lots of money and you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people who are working by the hour? It's a Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Oh yes, it's Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
On the line with us right now, formerly of Orlando City Soccer, one of the only or very few American soccer players to score in every division of U.S. soccer. On the line with us, Jamie Watson. How you doing, Jamie?
I am an emotional wreck after that touching open. I wish it would have never ended, to be honest, but it's got to at some point. All good things got to come to an end, and the bald eagle flying away. Wipe my tears and get on the call with you guys. And and say I am so happy to talk to you two, because I have you to thank for my career and my weird job. I just basically steal what you guys do, minus being funny, minus being able to say what I really think. And I just talk into a microphone now for a living.
You are very, very funny, and this is Orlando City legend Jamie Watson. I know that a lot of people hearing this are going to flip out in their cars. I know they are. You are beloved. Like, you are. You know when it comes to Orlando that you are as purple as it gets. And like when we look to the rafters and think about the legends that were part of our team, and I still call it that even though, Tom and I aren't as active with it as we used to be. But, man, like you are an Orlando City legend, and thank you for coming back on the show. When Tom said that he set this up, I was freaking out because, dude, we missed you just as much.
I miss you guys, man. Oh,
feeling.
gosh. The good old days. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it. And speaking of talking about it, they still talk about you guys hosting the end of the year banquet that was legendary. Almost got all end of the year banquets canceled for the club. But it teetered on the getting canceled, having a great time line. And it was unforgettable. Feels like just the other day.
We had inappropriate jokes. We had the shabooms. People were drunk. People were getting fired the next day. Certain staff members got let go.
It was a different time.
It was a different time.
So, Jamie, let's talk about what you're doing now. So first, because this is what I find interesting. We see a lot in the media where former athletes get into broadcasting, and I want to talk about your journey going from obviously professional soccer player into the broadcasting role.
But not only professional soccer player, and you and I've talked about this recently.
Yep.
Am I correct, Jamie? Were you 13th overall? What year was that? That you got?
That's correct. 2005. So 2 decades ago. My God, that sounds old.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that part.
That's a long time.
Don't worry about that. Okay, don't worry about that part. Just worry about this part.
The draft was in black and white, actually. That's all it was.
13th overall. Okay, this is what and Tom and I've talked about this because it's weird to meet somebody that, in MLS Super Draft. We've been to the Super Draft, Tom and I.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure. The energy there is crazy. What did it feel like to you to come in at such a high draft pick? Because that's a rare. I don't know many people. He's like one of one that I know has been in like a top 20 draft pick.
Yeah.
That's wild. So what did it feel like?
Well, it's great. I'm sure if you asked somebody, 20 years older than me, if they got drafted, they'd be like, yeah. And then I had to go over somewhere to a country I didn't know in a different part of the world. It wasn't great. This draft was much better. It was a lot more fun. But I will be honest with you, man. I was nervous about when teams would come up, right? Because, a city comes up and you're like, Kansas City's on the clock. And you're like, if I'm being honest, I don't really want to live there.
Right.
And then it's like,
that's the answer I wanted.
Kansas City catching strays 5 minutes into this, right? And then it's like New England, and I'm like, ooh, that's kind of expensive, man. And I'm like, 18, so I'm a tightwad here financially. So I'm like, I haven't gotten the first paycheck yet. So I'm like, yeah, your boy probably can't live there. Don't pick me.
Yeah.
And then Salt Lake comes up at 13, and I'm like, yeah, this is Happy Mix, some blonde hair, blue eye. They're gonna love me out there. Let's go there. So 13th overall, and it was great, man. It was awesome. I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah, and they did love you out there at Real, man. And that's a pretty cool. I would imagine within MLS, that's a pretty cool club to be a part of.
Oh, it's great, man. And I fit the bill. I mean, I look like every returned missionary there that comes back, 23, 24 years old, except I'm 18. And then the parents were like, oh, you're not a part of the Church of Latter-day Saints. Okay, you can't talk to our daughter anymore. So it was, No, but in all seriousness, man, it was really cool. It was nerve-wracking because as much as I'm like, oh, I don't want to go there, or I'd love to go there when each team is up, you don't have a control of it. So was it either 5 minutes or 10 minutes that the team is on the clock, you're thinking about, is my life about to be in this city? Okay, do I know anybody there? Do I want to live there?
Right.
Is that a good situation? And then that 10 minutes comes and goes, and you're like, okay, next. We're on to the next one, right? And then it's the next one and the next one. And it's just, there was the Dallas team where my hometown is. They were the team before at 12. And they were the team I thought I was going to get drafted to. So they go, Dallas is on the clock. And then they go, Dallas has made a trade. And I'm like, wait a minute, did Dallas pick me, but then trade me somewhere else immediately? So I do get to fulfill my dream of getting picked by my hometown team. And then within seconds, I'm booted out of my hometown team, and then ended up being for another player. I go the next pick. So it was a roller coaster of emotions. And then, what happens. And then you're just thankful for your family that's there. And, that you're just like, thanks, mom and dad.
Yeah.
You don't really realize at 18 what they all did. But I would love to do that draft speech again. I would spend more time thanking my parents and coaches and less time thanking my insignificant girlfriend at the time. Immediately we broke up, like a month later.
So, Jamie, I'm curious to when in your mind did you start thinking about the second half of your career and getting into broadcasting? Because I'm curious, because you're always a big personality when you played, and then there was
He was the personality when he played. I mean, like again, I'm not blowing smoke. It's like he was the face of our franchise, and it was fun because we leaned into it. He leaned into it. We'd give him Adrian Heath would give you bust your balls about being at every he's like you go to the opening of an envelope. That used to be the joke.
That was literally what I would do.
He would say that joke constantly, and the vibe was good, man.
Well, and also what I'm curious about is, and you see professional athletes do this sometimes. And I'm always wondering if it's purposeful in the fact of you pulled some stunts like signing the camera and things that were legendary that the fans loved. Obviously,
in trouble,
you get a little bit of trouble, but it helps with a future broadcasting career because it helps people learn your personality. You become you elevate yourself a little bit.
Character development.
Yeah. And was any of that planned, or was it all just part of who you are, and then you got into broadcasting later?
I would say yes, that was the plan, because I loved what you guys did while I was playing. Like a lot of athletes would be like, oh, I don't listen to what the media says. I don't watch that. I don't read that. Okay, well, I did. I mean, I absolutely read the media. I watched what you guys were doing, and I was like, that looks amazing. That looks so much fun. And then I'd be like, all right, I got to stop watching it. I got to, make sure that I subscribe to be a BDM on a pseudo account, right? Just so that way it doesn't. It's like, hey, also, like, why is your name attached to being a BDM? That's not a great look as a professional athlete.
It's really not.
But that's my guys,
No, it's really not.
In all seriousness, no, it's one of those things that I looked at you guys and I was so enamored with your life. Now, I was really good at kicking a soccer ball, and so I just rode that wave as long as I could. And every time, you remember this, we'd sit there, we would do the interview at the house in Lake Baldwin, and we would have a blast doing it. And then we probably spent more time after the show was even done in the recording, sitting there talking, and I would just be picking your brain. I would be learning from people that were really, really good at what they do. And that's you guys. As much as you guys want to act like you're like, we're just winging it out. No, you guys are brilliant at what you do. And you always have been. And I could see that early on. And I was like, I have no clue how you're doing it, but how's the magic made, right? It just was so fascinating to me. And then, every chance I got, this is some of the best advice somebody gave me early on. My buddy named Brian Dunseth. He was like, just say yes to everything, right? Even if you're not going to make a ton of money, even if it's going to be some sweat equity, just do it. Just say yes. And so I did that. A lot of times I would have to tell my then girlfriend, then fiance, now wife, Kaylee, who I met in Orlando while I was playing for Orlando
Please
City.
tell her we said hello. She's the sweetest person in the world.
Oh, she is. I don't know what she's doing with me.
Yeah. We would say that too. I have the same. I have the
say
same
that behind
thing.
your back.
Yeah, you could say that about Andrea to me. Like, look, we all, and Crystal to Tom. Like, we all, Okay, Tom.
I don't know anybody says that.
Tom said no on that one.
we all kick our coverage.
We really deserve each other.
But it was one of those things. Like she would just be like, okay, I trust you. Go do it. I would learn. I would be like a sponge. I would absorb it. And then, I can't take too much credit for the signing of the camera, because that was actually Austin Hiddle, who was the video guy in Orlando. He's now with the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah,
and mind you,
indeed.
this guy is like blown up. He was like on the cover of
he's-
Sports Business Journal.
Yeah, I think
He's
he's
won
the
some
head
Emmys.
of it. I think he's the head of their video department at Atlanta Falcons. Shout out to my Falcons. Rise up.
We were trying to get him for an interview, but we had to kind of settle for Dennis.
I knew Tom was going to be so mean to you, because that's how we used to do it. We'd just be busting each other's balls and having so much fun.
If it was just Austin and then me, I will take option B, because I remember when you're like, hey, look, we had like 9 people cancel. You want to come on the show today because we are in some trouble here. We got some bills to pay. And I'd be like, yeah, well, come on, let's go hang out. It'll get me out of a second practice.
You know,
like
you're joking around a little bit, but at the same time, I can remember when we worked in the, like, obviously we were doing social media and we're doing, you know, promotional aspects, and we're working in the marketing department of Orlando City. And you did kind of, I mean, yes, it does make sense to hear you say that that was the plan, because there would be times where something would happen and they would need, hey, we need some photos of the jersey. Who do we have? And then who would they call? Jamie Watson, because they knew that, you know, you were, again, you're the guy that was going to say yes to it, and it's probably a really good thing that you did.
Well, you know what? Not everything I did was good that I said yes to, because there was also a moment when Tom came to me and decided that he had a great bit for Junkie the Bear, and he needed me to actually wear the Junkie the Bear outfit at an Orlando Predators indoor football game, because there was a promotion going on, I believe, with well, we're probably doing what, no free ads here. It
was like first, it was like Fairwinds or Fairwinds. It was Fairwinds.
Yeah, some bank.
Fairwinds.
Oh, this is one of the greatest memories I have, JB, is when we scammed the Orlando Predators and Fairwinds because essentially it was
what's the statute of limitations?
Allegedly.
Yeah, let's go with that. Thank you, Jamie.
It was like for every field goal I kicked, some Fairwinds customer got like $1,300 deposited in their account, and then I went to ran in the back, switched the bear suits with Jamie, and then Jamie came out. It's funny because I was like, don't make them all, and he had a hard time missing.
I remember that. He was literally ringing it, man.
He's like, I'm trying to miss. I'm like, you keep
we were on the hook if you made more than X amount, and I was like, well, allegedly. And I was like, okay, well, I'd look over at the person. I'd go, yeah, you look like you could use a couple extra $100 in your bank account. Here we go, right down the middle. And I'd look over at, I don't know, some guy being a douchebag who was drunk. And I'm like, yeah, this ain't happening for you, pal. Just put it wide. Like, oh, no.
I mean, he really was holding a lot of these on-the-field Predator hillbillies. You were holding these Orlando Predator hillbillies, that 1,300 right in your palm. And he could decide.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. He could decide whether or not.
As you were doing that, Jamie, I was looking at you do it, and I was like, one day he'll regret this.
Do you remember
that day and today? Not yet.
I do like looking at people thinking they'll regret this one day, but it's my favorite thing.
Do you remember beforehand, like when you guys walked out and I was with you, and then you're like, oh, this is where we're going to be? It was way ahead of time. And you're like, can you do this? And you set it on the thing. It's like, boop. It was like first time. It was like, it was like, oh, no.
I was like, you know, kicking a football is a little different than kicking. Oh, you made it easy. It's like, oh, this is pretty close. So
it was hilarious until the fear in your eye of we had made all the ones we were supposed to make that they had allocated allegedly. And it was like you were looking at me going, hey, look, it's all fun and games until we got to go out of our own pocket here. Miss it.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Oh, what a great story, man.
Alleged story.
Correct.
So, Jamie, let's talk about your first broadcasting gig. Actually, let's tell the audience what your official job title is right now.
So I work for Apple TV and MLS Season Pass. So Apple TV did this groundbreaking partnership with Major League Soccer, where they bought all of the rights at the beginning of 2023 for Major League Soccer, and they created MLS Season Pass. So, you know, just the same that you go on to Apple TV to go and watch Severance, and you go and watch some of these incredible programs they have, there's also a separate icon for MLS Season Pass. And if you want to go and watch that in something like 120 plus countries, something like that around the world globally, you can watch that. And we have the privilege of being able to commentate on the games. And it's something that it doesn't get lost on me when I'm, you know, talking to games. I'm like, there's somebody like on every continent that could be watching me, you know, commentate on the soccer game.
And I owe Apple an apology, because when they did the season pass thing and I knew I was going to have to pay for it, I was really mad, and I love it. I pay gladly because I have all my games ready to go. They have like
it's easy when it's all together,
and they have their version of Red Zone. You know,
the MLS 360 show is incredible. So the whole thing is just it's groundbreaking.
It's great.
I think a lot more other leagues are going to follow suit with something similar. They're sort of blazing a trail. So it's really cool. And then I also get the privilege of being able to sort of freelance with some other projects. So, you know, I just in the last year alone, I've been able to be on Fox, ESPN, TNT, Max.
Wow.
I'm trying to think of all the different
Sounds like
networks and
Apple's
stuff.
pretty good to you then, because if they allow you to still stay in the soccer verse and do other things, I mean, I don't know how. I mean, like, it's cool that they don't lock you down and keep you locked.
So lucky, so fortunate, and and they're the bread and butter, so obviously everything sort of works around that. That's the meat and potatoes of this. And then they're great if they're like, hey, look, some of the games are going to be coming up for the Club World Cup. They're like, great, we're happy for you that you're going to get a chance to do that. So actually
cool.
This is the first time I've said this out loud publicly. So exclusive. Look at that. Where's your exclusive? No, but I mean they're great about that. They're supportive and they care about us as broadcasters and want us to do well. And they care about the product and stuff. So it's really cool, man. So I get a chance to commentate on games, and if I'm sure most of your listeners know this, you get. Normally, when you turn a game on, you hear two idiots talking about the game. I'm one of the idiots. And there's a play-by-play that tells you what's happening, and the color commentator will tell you why it's happening. And generally, it's a former player that's gotten a chance to retire and is too old to do it, but can tell you why it's happening. That's what I'm doing now as the color commentator, and it's so much fun because I sit there and I do it with my 9 and 8-year-old boy, Cade and Jameson, and my 4.5-year-old daughter. She is smart enough; she just runs away and doesn't listen to me. So I do it on the couch for games whenever I watch. Now I just get to go to a studio and do it to a global audience with MLS Season Pass, and it's incredible, man. It's a dream job, and
that's so cool, man.
Somebody asked me what else I want to do in life. I'm like, I'm doing it. I don't want to do anything else. This is the only thing I want to do. So I'm lucky, man.
So,
congrats,
Jamie. Let's talk about doing that. Were you doing that before? Do you do it as practice when you watch games, like when you're out of work? Do you find yourself naturally doing it, where it just comes? It came easier to you. Like, did you have to practice? Tell me about the process.
Oh, I had to practice. The first time I set up shop, I just showed up to the studio and they were like, "Hey, we're going to do a practice game," and I was like, "Okay, great." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know what I'm doing." You know what I mean? Because it's very different when we're all watching a game, because also the words we're allowed to say when we're watching this on our couch are not the same that you can say on air, right? So you got to learn how to say it. And then also too, like, you guys are very, very soccer savvy. Y'all are astute minds when it comes to the game. So I can talk to you at a high level, but also there are times when, like, I don't know, my distant family member that's watching soccer for the first time because they want to be supportive of me is tuning into the game. And they're turning on the TV and they don't know the ins and outs of the game like you do. But I've got to talk to both of you at the same time. So there's little nuances that you need to be able to bring along the casual new viewer, but also maintain credibility with the 1%, because I want every player that watches the game back to be able to be like, this guy knows what he's talking about. And one thing that I also hold myself to a high standard of is I think that everything I say on air about a player, I should be able to say to their face. If it's easy to say that's a shocking miss. What a horrible play. I can't believe this guy. And are you kidding me? That's lazy. That's easy to say that, right? You can just say that and, hopefully you never run into that player again. right. But, or you can say something like, like a player of their quality, they'd expect themselves to score from there. So when I see the player afterwards and they're like, hey, somebody, my parents are watching, they told me you were crushing me on air. I'd say, no, I said a player of your quality would expect himself to score from there. Is that true? And they would have to have a gut check. That,
oh my God, Jamie Watson's grown up. Oh my God, look at this adult here. He's like, oh man, Jamie, that's awesome.
Jamie, I was going to ask you about that because that's super interesting, because I've heard criticism of other former athletes that go into broadcasting about, like, and this happens in other sports where they're really they do not want to say anything negative about other players because they feel they remember being in that role and they remember how that felt.
How it feels.
So they kind of stop themselves from any negativity at all. And sometimes it's like, well, you're
like
not
a hindrance.
You're not being truthful because the audience is like, well, you're not calling that player out for that,
right?
And then they just avoid it altogether. But I like your approach, which you're like, hey, I'm
tell
gonna
the truth, but within reason.
I'm gonna say how I would feel if I missed that shot because I was a player at a high level, and I would feel like I should have made that, and I was disappointed in my performance. Yeah. And I like
it's more honest.
Yeah, phrasing it like that is pretty, because you do have to maintain the relationships with the players, because if you piss them off, then all of a sudden they don't talk to you. You know, you can't get the same out of them, and that's pretty interesting.
Well, and you know, and there's a reason why. My second goal that I ever scored in Major League Soccer, it was in Dallas. I was 19, first time playing back in Dallas. You know, I didn't know how to say no to any friends that wanted tickets. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll get you a ticket. Sure, I'll get you a ticket. Yeah, we never talked, but like, you know, you want a ticket to the game? Sure, I'll get one. And then when the bill came, they were like, hey, we actually don't have any more comp tickets. You're going to have to buy like, you know, 50 to 60 tickets for this game. And I was like, oh boy, I'm like hoping that the check clears type thing. You know, it was like that expensive type thing early on in my career. First time I'm playing in Dallas, I get subbed in at halftime. Our team's losing 2-0 at the time. I come in, and I don't know, like 5, 7, 8 minutes in of the second half, I score a goal, and I run off to the corner where all my friends are, like, you know, casual celebration. I'm not going crazy or anything, but it's a goal in my hometown in my rookie season. Yeah. All my friends and family are there. But the commentator, I remember, he says, "Stop celebrating, kid. You're still down a goal." And I'm like, you know, here we are 2 decades later. I'm not talking about what's the most meaningful goal. Like, it was the one where I was at home with all my friends there and I scored. And the commentator was like, you know, the hometown kid makes good. Like, you know, he doesn't give me this, like, this moment. Instead, he gives me this
criticism,
takes it away this criticism. And it's like, if you would have done your homework, you would have known that I'm 19 in my rookie season playing at home for the first time. Like, I'm from this area and I just scored. I wanted to play for FC Dallas. Yeah. But they traded the pick away for somebody else right before, right? And it's like, you know, it's like, so I remember that from that important moment for me in my career and in my life. But because the commentator didn't do his homework and didn't care in that moment, he just sort of said some lazy commentary that was negatively impacting me in that moment, and then 2 decades later on, clearly I'm over it, right?
Well, what did it no, but seriously, Jamie,
I like you still hold hate in your heart.
Oh, that's me. That's where Jamie and I.
You're looking up that guy's Facebook page. You're looking at him. You're like, I know you.
I don't want to do that for somebody. I don't want to ruin a kid's dream. Like, I don't want to be the one on the commentary that's like, his parents are like, let's just watch this back on mute every time we watch it now because this guy sucks.
Well, but like he could have said something like, "What a great goal from the hometown kid." Maybe
that's it.
Yeah. Or just maybe that's the type of energy they need because they need to get that second goal back. You know what I mean? Like, he could have said exactly what he wanted to say, just in a little. Yeah, that's wild. I'm also glad you keep the hate in your heart because I do
Don't
too.
let it go.
I do too. Don't let it go. Don't ever let it go. It's a fire that will burn in you eternally.
Yeah. And so sometimes as a broadcaster, it's easier to criticize or to say, you know, and also treat players like they're cyborgs, like you're still down a goal, like you should get back to work if it's not like a human being. And
right, that was a human moment. Yeah, it's such a good point, right? And so it stuck with me, and it's made me better at my job because I don't want to be that guy.
The chat room wants us to find this man, and they want me to confront him for you, and I will do that. I will do today. Later today, we will find this man and confront him.
So, Jamie,
Dan, you're the muscle. You're the muscle. We're sending him after you. That beard, I'd be scared. You know what, man?
I'm doing it. I look like tiny. You don't want this tiny biker on you.
So, Jamie, how much do you have to research before a match as far as like getting players' names right and stuff? Because that's where I would be nervous, just like because I'm like, okay, I could talk, but then when it comes down to facts and getting players' names right and getting, because this is all off the cuff. And you only have one chance, and then so he's like, you can't throw out a stat that's wrong because people will bring it up online. All this stuff lives eternally.
Real time. They can tweet at Jamie Watson.
And then it becomes some social clip where you're saying something wrong, and then it's like, oh God, like it's like one mistake out of a 2.5 hour broadcast, and people pick it apart. But how much practice?
You're not wrong.
Or how much research?
It's so much, and here's the funny bit, right? Like, soccer is an international; it's a global game. Not everybody that plays soccer is named Tom or Dan. Love Toms and Dans. I love those names. And if there's somewhere I'm going, I'm sorry, what's that letter with some squiggly lines around it, and on top of it, and on the side of it, and below it, and what does that mean? You know, you look, at the end of the day, with like anything, you get out of it what you put into it. If you want to be lazy and just show up and not do your homework and not study that I'm from Dallas and I'm playing FC Dallas for the first time and I've got a lot of friends and family, and you want to just say a lazy commentary because you didn't want to put your prep work in, that's fine. But you're going to get those moments where you screw up and you mess up, or you miss something important, or you misspeak about something that you should have known was important, but you didn't because you didn't put prep in. So, but if you put the time in, you avoid those moments, you are more likely to succeed, because ultimately there's a good chance that I've got to learn the life story of 30 players on a roster, and then the game day roster comes out and there's 20 guys on it. Instantly, a third of my prep goes to the mental wasteland, right? Trash.
Yeah.
And then 11 players play, and they may not make a sub at all. So it may just be 11 players. So then 2/3 of the life stories I've learned may go to the mental trash. But I need to know those moments as a commentator, so that way I can make you at home understand, like, oh, wow, this kid scored a goal and he's like celebrating right now in front of his friends and family as a rookie for the first time. What a moment that kid's having. Like, good for him. And there's a human element to it, right? And, then it's funny because I've learned all these stories, and, after the game, I may be down on the field and I'll see these guys, and it's like, oh, hey, nice to meet you, so-and-so. And meanwhile, I actually know their whole story. And I'm like, oh, like, how's your 4th knee surgery last summer?
Right.
And like, how's your grandma that passed away, a year ago? It's just, I'm sorry for your loss. And they're like, wait, what, dude? We just met. Like, how do you know my life story?
Yeah.
That's my job too.
Since you touched on it real quick, how hard was it? I mean, like, and again, now that you're a broadcaster, you don't have to worry about this much, but coming back from injury, but still being a pro player, and then having to manage the expectation of healing, because I just had my hip replaced is one of the reasons I'm bringing this up. And holy crap, the healing takes forever. But you guys got that ticking. You got a ticking watch on you, like, hey, you got to get back out there.
I remember when Jamie split his calf and he showed us. I was like, whoa, that's disgusting. You split your calf.
So how do you like?
Bro, it's still split. It still looks terrible.
It's just looking. I've never seen that before. And then I was like, oh my god, that must have. Not only hurt, but have been hard to recover from.
Yeah, how hard were you having to like try to recover or like do your PT and everything?
Oh man, you do it every day, right? And that when I tore my calf, I was rushing to get back for the playoffs, and that was 2013 when we won the championship, and I was trying everything to get back because I desperately wanted to be a part of it. And then I wasn't able to, so Dom Dwyer stole the show and scored like a bajillion goals for Orlando City to help win the championship. Oh man, that is a good way to put it. I love that guy, but he is knucklehead number one, right? And then 2015, I tore my ACL, but I also knew I wasn't going to get back by the end of the season. So recovery was completely different. It was also the year Kaylee was pregnant with our first child. So it was like actually kind of serendipitous because I could make the doctor's appointments and be there for that. Whereas, before I would have been like, hey, I can't go because I got a rehab and stuff like that. It's different, man. And injuries suck. It's a part of it. But like you find out like, it's easy to do all the things when things are going well, right? Like, yeah, we're having success. Like everything's going great. Like I'm going to keep doing all the things. It's when things are not going well, when you find out what you're really made of, right? And that's when it's hard, and it's like anything in life, right? This injury discussion is the variable. It's X, right? Like sub in whatever it is. When things get hard, you're going to find out what you're really about. And no matter what, if things are not going well, you find out that just working hard and putting yourself into a position where you give 100% effort at whatever it is that you do is generally going to lead you to a path of success. And so I tried to think of that. There's some days where you're just like, man, the success today was like, I could like lift my leg up by myself.
Right.
Like, congratulations to me. And then the next day is like, I was able to do a little bit more. Some days was a step back. But one of the best things I've always had, and I'll try to get philosophical in like 9 seconds before I put your viewers and listeners
they're loving it.
Everything that you do, like if you have a goal in life, I was always told just put it at the top of the staircase, right? And some staircases are 20 stairs high and some are 4, right? And whatever you're doing though, make sure that you're taking a step forward or 2 steps. And some days you're gonna take bigger steps forward and you're going to get close to the top. Some days you're going to take some step backwards, right? But you just got to keep moving towards the top of the staircase and to that goal. And so I tried to think of that. And some days it was little milestones and little steps up. And then some days it was like we took a big leap forward. And so try to do that with anything. And I think that applies to whatever it is in life. Just put your goal at the top of the staircase and just keep climbing the stairs, man. And you'll get there, and it's the next step.
No, I'm sorry.
Well, it's a mindset of a winner. He's got the mindset of a winner.
He does. I had to yell gay at the end. I'm sorry.
By the way,
it's a show rule we have.
I see Jamie on his off time. He'll run. I don't know how long your run is. I follow you on Facebook.
Are you trying to compete with an athlete? All right.
But I see he's got a medal on. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, I'm trying to do the same thing Jamie Watson's doing, and then I got Jamie Watson's blowing past me, and then I'm I feel bad. I'm like, oh my God, this dad is
he's
so
been
much
running
better.
his entire life,
Well,
Jamie Watson.
that's why they need to put some sort of sign on the back of these athletes like, hey, I was a former athlete. Don't feel bad. All the fat dads trying to do this race. Like, I'm going to be better than you.
You're not a fat dad. You just didn't run your entire life.
I know.
Jamie ran his entire life.
But he doesn't advertise it when he's doing it. That's why all these other athletes that I'm in these races with, they're blowing past me, and I'm like, oh, why are they so much better? Well, they've been professional
for
athletes.
30 years he's been doing
sorry,
it.
James.
I'll tell you what, that was the old me. I got paid to run. Your boy hasn't gotten paid to run in a while, so we haven't done that. So that's
yeah,
You're
right.
You got that catering life now. When Apple, I bet they got good muffins, Apple, man, because they got,
you're not wrong. Hey,
because
snacks are a big benefit. You know?
they got the money, man. Like that's the place to work.
So, Jamie, going back to like being a professional sports broadcaster, because I think people don't realize, I know how hard it is, and I'm watching you and other broadcasters and looking at things that they're doing all at once, and the average viewer doesn't see, because obviously the average viewer doesn't they just want to have a great experience viewing the game, listening to you guys, but I'm thinking about like the people in your ear and the break times and like you said, all the information you had to learn and research before the game.
And how do you weave in that? Remember, Apple wants you to remind everybody that there's a free trial going on right now. Did you remember to hit the free trial? You better have remembered
the promotions, the breaks, all the referees' names, like all this other stuff that you're remembering and doing at the
reporter.
kicking it to them, knowing what the break time like. So let's talk about like the actual production of it, because that must have been a learning curve as well, right? Just learning the TV production
the ebb
part
and
of it.
flow.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like, you don't know what you don't know going into it, and the chaos behind the scenes is crazy. You know, you guys know this. In our industry, we get coined the term talent. I hate that term, because the actual real talented people are the ones that are working behind the scenes in production and in video and in audio and all the things to make everything happen from the actual standpoint. I'm just talking about soccer. I'm not sure how talented that is, right? So, you learn how to basically be a part of a team. And I think that's what I love about it the most is like, I'm good at what I do in this part. There are other people that are very good at what they do in another part. And I could never even hold their proverbial jock strap when it comes to some of the things that they do, right? In that term, basically meaning like, I can't live in a world, and I'm fully aware of that. Now, I think that's where you trust each other and you understand, like, what's your role with the team, right? It's like anything. Like, you're putting together a puzzle. Some pieces of the puzzle are way more important than others. So, sometimes you're a corner piece and you can't have a completed puzzle without that. And some are just that, like, weird little, like, cloud off in the sky, right? That, like, the puzzle would be just fine without that piece, but it would just look better if it was completed, Yeah. And so, you try to basically have a plan in place going into it, and but it's also sports, and it's live sports, and things change in a moment, and it's one of those that I don't know. I look at it and I'm like, yeah, that's for me, that is one of the fun parts about it, the unpredictableness of it. There's no monotony to it, and so I think that's really, really cool. But yeah, man, you make a mistake and you just move on from it. You just got to be able to have a short memory and be sort of resilient with your mindset, because if you let one mistake turn into two mistakes and then it compounds, it gets out of hand, it gets out of control, and then you're done, right? It doesn't go well, right? So you so that's how I try to do it, is just try to have a short memory when it never. And look, you're going to get comments about everything you do. One thing I was told early on, you're never as good as people say, and you're never as bad as people say. Some people are going to think you're the best thing ever and say, my goodness, you are the chosen one. And, you are the best thing ever. And then some are going to say, do you get money for this? Somebody pays you for this? Yeah. You suck. And neither one of them are right. The truth is somewhere in between there. So that's, So Jamie, you know how it goes, right? I mean,
yeah. And sometimes it's listening to any criticism or consuming it almost does you no good, especially like in with your mindset. It's like I'm preparing, I'm trying my hardest, I'm thinking about this at all times. Like, so consuming
He knows the goal.
Yeah, consuming any criticism
Yeah.
almost hinders your ability to progress in your job, because then you start second guessing and you're like, the best thing I could do is trust my gut and be who I am.
Yeah.
Your personality. And that's what I want to talk about, Jamie, because like we'll switch sports, and I want to get your opinion on, like, let's say the NFL broadcasts, like the plenty of sports stars to become broadcasters, and some don't work. Like, for instance, Drew Brees, and I'm not sure how familiar you are with that, but
Oh my
it's
God.
like, obviously one of the best players to play the game at his position, and then he just didn't work out broadcast wise. And I'm like, and people are like, oh, it's so boring or whatever. And then it's like, it's odd when some players don't work out like that. And it's like, is that all personality based, you think? Like, what do you think some former athletes don't work out as broadcasters? What do you think the problem is?
It's a good question, right? I mean,
Oh, wait, hold on.
I think
Hold on, I got to put the camera on him. Okay, let me put the camera on him. That was a good question. All right, now back to you, Jamie.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Look at you. It only took us 45 minutes to get one of those.
Yeah. But I contractually,
I'm
I
good
have
for
to put
one
him
a
on.
show.
I have to put a good question camera on him to give him. He loves to have his what you like to be chosen, right? You like for people.
Yeah.
This was me. I did
Oh,
this.
I tell you what, every question from here on out is going to be a
Yeah,
good one.
you're
Don't
like
you worry
that
about
bowler.
that.
The
You know,
bowler
it's,
is like, yes,
look-
I did this. Who did this? Me. I'm the man.
Who do you think you are?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, the reality is, I think that there's an element to this that you can say it's one of those that it's such a subjectivity thing and such a likability thing, right? Like, it's a piece of art, right? You could look, one person could look at it and go, I appreciate it and think it's amazing. The next person could look at it and go, yeah, not for me. And that goes back to that confidence thing, like you were saying, Tom, a second ago, like, you just have to have confidence in yourself and what you do. And I don't know, some people just don't have a passion for it either. It's like coaching too. Some players like to go into coaching. That's not for me. I like it. I don't mind it. I enjoy doing it for my kids, but I wouldn't want to do it every day of my life at a professional level. It's just not my thing. And so that's fine. I mean, some people will try it. I think the allure of media sounds fun because you don't know what you don't know, and you think you just show up and you get a great catered meal, you sit in a big fancy desk, and then you talk about things. But then you realize there's actually a lot of work that goes into it, and you're seeing the end product of days and hours and weeks of preparation for that moment. And it's like, people just aren't ready for it and don't want to do it, and then they realize, I can't handle the pressure. And by the way, you know how this goes. You guys have done so many live shows. You can plan and prep everything, and then something goes astray.
Yeah.
But when the red light's on, you got to be able to perform, and some people just aren't cut out to be able to do that.
Or you
And,
can plan and prep nothing, and like we did at OLE, and we just showed up, and we're like, what do
I
you
got
mean the
this.
sound sucks? We're like, somebody should have checked the sound.
I'll improv all this. It's fine. No
Yeah.
big deal.
I'll just drink this away.
So, Jamie, when you do make a mistake, because it's inevitable, does it haunt you for a long time, or just like in your athlete days, like you have to kind of have a short memory sometimes.
Show
because,
goes on.
Yeah, like forget about that mistake and move on. So, is there a little bit of both?
Yeah, hey, Tom, look, great question.
Hold on, let me put the
there
camera
is.
Two for two. Two for two.
This guy's
That's
killing
why
it.
Jamie knows I got the goods. I didn't even prepare for
Wear
this.
that button out, by the
It's
way.
all improv.
This is where I know Tom's going to wrap the interview up because he doesn't want to keep getting this FaceTime one-on-one for good questions here. No, in all seriousness, I mean, yeah, you just have to continue on. There's nothing that's going to be perfect. It's never going to go perfect. Everything that you can imagine, you come up with a game plan, and everyone's got a game plan until you get punched in the mouth. Sometimes you get punched in the mouth because you just said the wrong thing or the wrong player or it came out the wrong way. I mean, there's been so many times where I've said, there was one time there was a guy named Maury Donor, and he was playing a ball the other way. Well, my brain put the word Maury Donor and the word ball together.
Oh, no.
And
You called it.
in real time.
And a goal
my
from
brain-
Greasy Boner. All right.
My brain just stopped working for like 3 seconds, long enough to give the soundbite that I don't want to have.
Oh, I'm sure they put it on social media. The boner.
And here's Jamie boner.
Just made a remix out of it, and now it's a top 40
Hide your
song.
kids,
Right?
hide your wife, boner.
Yeah, see that one to me is like a nothing in my brain, like a miss.
That's because you do it all the time.
A
Of course, the person that does it all the time would say it's a nothing.
But like when you get a fact wrong about like when someone got in the league, how are they drafted, like what team they played for. See, that one would bother me more because it's
Than
like
just a flub.
Because it almost like it represents maybe you didn't do enough research or something, or people like think, oh, I
Going
didn't.
too fast.
Yeah. Some like misspeaks. I feel like that's a nothing. I don't know how you feel about like that.
I think it's hilarious. I mean, I laughed. I mean, what are you going to do, right? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't purposely try to say it. It was just like, yeah, that happened. So, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I'm talking soccer. It's not brain surgery, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I also look at it as like, this is a really fun job that I try to make entertaining, because you got enough serious stuff going on elsewhere in the world. So for 90 minutes, can we make this fun? Can I teach you a little bit? Can this be enjoyable? And then you got 22 and a half hours the other day to go and stress and worry about other stuff and have it be super serious and all that stuff. If you choose to, I choose to make it try to fun and enjoyable, where you like, yeah, I want to have a beer with that guy.
Yeah.
That guy is the guy that, like, I bet he'd be fun to hang out with. And, and then there's times I got to, let you know that what you're watching is not good enough, and this team, you should be disappointed in your team because it isn't going well. But for the most part, man, I try to approach it with that, and I'm lucky to do what I do.
You're
I
probably
love
doing
it.
a little bit of that last night with the U.S. men's national team, weren't you?
We did have to do that. We did have to get a little bit strict.
That was a rough
with-
one. Who would have
that
guessed
didn't-
old Switzerland put it right on us? Oh, Lord.
4 goals in the first 36 minutes. That did not go
Is
to the
it
game
true we
plan.
got booed at halftime? You
Yeah,
watched it?
I was
Oh,
there. Yeah,
damn
there was
it.
some booze that happened, but that is
That's
what happens
soccer.
sometimes when you have high expectations. And
Yeah.
we're 12 months today from the start of the World Cup, the biggest World Cup, the most important one for the U.S. men's national team. So yeah, there is expectations that it's going to go better than what it did last night against Switzerland. And
Let's
so,
hope.
look, here's the thing: you got to face a little bit of adversity and find out how you're going to respond to it. And so, I look at this team as they've now got their adversity 12 months to the day
Yeah,
from
you're
when
right.
the World Cup starts. You're going to have to figure it out. There's no other option but to figure it out. And so we're going to find out what this team is made of, and it's going to be interesting to see how they respond to it going terribly right now. And who wants to step up and be the one to fix it, and who's is that player a player that we don't even know yet is
That's
a
what
part
I
of the
think.
national team program.
I think that maybe that'll happen. I mean, I know our bench is short. It's going to be a rough one, but it's certainly interesting. We're running out of time, Tom. Make sure.
Last thing, Jamie, before you
Last good question from Tom.
Yeah.
Well, this is more of a personal question. Are you turning your kids into soccer players, Jamie? Or do they have it inside them? Do they have the love for soccer?
Well, you have to indoctrinate it whether they
That's called the Tiger Woods dad.
whether they need it or not.
You can make some really good soccer players.
Yeah. Here, I decided to forego the basketball. My kids being sport. Nothing could go wrong with that plan, right? They don't have a choice. It's all about them living up to dad's expectations. I'm living vicariously through them. No, all seriousness, man, I don't care what they do. I want my kids to be happy. If they want to be soccer players, great, let's do it. If they want to be, it's like anything. Be the best that you want to be. If they want to be a garbage man, go be the best garbage man you can be, pal. And I'll be there to sit there and cheer you on.
Anything but
I'm not
garbage.
gonna help.
Okay.
Jamie, that's too much of a healthy outlook.
This guy, he sounds like a really nice guy.
You can start the training now every morning. Just, like Deion Sanders make, for sure. And then and imagine
they're saying that he looks really good.
when one of your kids get drafted 13th overall. You're imagine the feeling.
Yeah.
You just have to put everything you got into it, and it's going to be rough for them.
Yeah,
Because
they're going to
be
resent
militant.
you. They're also going to resent the hell out of you.
Yeah, but they could be the best.
Right? You made me a garbage man. Why did you make me happy so I could land a hot girl like your mom? Like mom,
Well, Jamie,
That's what I'm going to tell him. You pro athlete, it'll lead to being able to land the girl of your dreams. That's way out of your league. That's the motivation right there, fellas.
Exactly.
Jamie, it's been a pleasure talking to you. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you again too. And obviously,
if you're ever in town, please come and see us. Okay.
Oh, I cannot wait to, guys. I miss y'all. Big fans of you guys and lifelong fan of y'all as people, but also of the show. So
Right back to you,
thanks
man.
for having me on, man.
Love
Right.
to
Really
the
appreciate
family
it, guys.
too.
It's been awesome following you, and congratulations on your success. And we'll be watching you. And
We'll see you on Apple TV.
Yeah. Nope.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's funny we switched to Zoom audio only to have a little we're going back to phone. Back
It was
to
only one
landline.
question. It was only one question.
I know.
We got a full 40 out of it.
Yeah,
Like some
yeah,
people
yeah.
were saying, and I blame the chat room. They were like, "This is the best audio ever," and then it started breaking
Yeah,
apart.
Jamie's such a nice guy, man.
Hell of a guy.
Yeah.
I miss that guy. Man, that was
He
when
gives us way too much credit, by the way.
He really does. Yeah, he pours on the.
We must have tricked him good.
Yeah.
I don't know
He
what
does one
about
of those broadcaster techniques where I try to do it. I do it too.
I'm like, I
he makes us comfortable, right? I'm like, this guy. I was like, oh, keep telling me how great I am.
I loved it.
I was like,
It
I'll
my
tell
fir-
you anything now. Ask me any hard-hitting question. I'll air out. I'll say anything. What do you want? You want the secrets? I'll give you the secrets because you told me you loved me.
All right. Let's take. Actually, we got to get out of here.
we got to get out of here.
We'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
That's funny.
Freaking good segment, dude.
Yeah. James is great, man.
Well, he's a pro-level broadcaster now. He wasn't, but he got that Apple TV contract.
Yeah.
We watch him all the time. We don't get him a lot though, because we get the Orlando broadcasters. I don't think they linked him to us.
Well, it's funny. Going back to the weird job and the idea of just going through my goddamn phone, which I have,
We don't have anything at
hundreds
all,
of contacts. I'm just gonna start reaching out to friends and booking weird jobs through my phone.
He's way better than Taylor Twellman, I'll tell you that.
Who's that?
He's like one of the main like U.S. soccer broadcasters, and people make fun of him all the time
Okay.
because he's he's very opinionated. So people are like, a little more F you to Taylor. He was a former player like Jamie Watson.
Okay, yeah. See, that's you run the risk. It's kind of like shock jock broadcaster.
That's what Taylor Twellman is. He's
Yeah.
become the guy he's the opposite of what Jamie said. The way that Jamie treats players is the opposite of how Taylor does. Taylor's the guy that gets the soundbite. He's like the Stephen A. Smith style, where you get the soundbite, and then the player feuds with you online.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
Taylor does.
Yeah.
At least in my perspective. From my
Yeah.
perspective.
Is that like you're doing 90s?
And I don't think he means anything by it either. I think it's
No, no.
all fake. But
It's all entertainment,
yeah.
you know. I mean,
It
it's
just depends on whether you want to do that or not. I
Yeah.
gotta pee real fast. Or what are we doing next?
we're done.
all right.
So we're not Kenny's coming at 12:30.
Okay, guys, we'll be back in 12.